I am in the game, and we are ready to go with round one here. This is Manajuma versus netcodes.com. This is netcodeguides.com, excuse me. This is map one of the best of three here, so possibly two, more than likely, I could foresee three maps incoming, and we have Juma's on CT side first. Netcode Guides is going to be stacked over there, and look at that spray through the smoke. Oh my goodness, Miniker gets two, Shroud cleans up the third one, FNS is up on top of the box, tries to get a kill there, gets one, D-Born was able to clean it up, only one player left alive, that is lucky, and he falls victim at the end to Miniker once again, so that's a 3K for Miniker on the round, and Manajuma takes pistol round.
That was a huge round for Miniker and, for Managuma as a whole. They collapsed on that ace site very, very quickly. I guess they've played netcode guides enough time to, basically not think that there was going to be any kind of fake incoming. I know a lot of teams like to, throw some decoys, maybe send some players one direction just to kind of draw the attention of the counter-terrorists and then swing the bomb the other way. But I guess they had an inkling that netcode guys just kind of wanted to go for it. And the fastest way to go for it on this map is to just run straight A as a terrorist.
Look at this Juma stack over there at A. It's almost like they know it's happening, and they were pretty right about it. They had two players on the catwalk really fast on the rotate, and they are shutting it down, leaving the one lurk over there at B, which is a smart play here considering they have not spotted bomb yet. He has not rotated out. He has not bid on it. He's going to be the last one, and he cleans up over there, dropping the bomb, and I do believe Cutler got a 2K on the round for his team. Only 2 kills that round, but Manajuma takes that second one. And no bomb plant, so no early buy for netcode.
That strat that they just ran right there was actually the strat I thought they were going to run on their pistol round, as I just mentioned. The put 4 players one way, try to swing the bomb the other way. But Managuma is not having any of that either. They collapsed on the A site pretty quickly. They had 4 of their players ready to go, but that doesn't mean they're going to be negligent with how they play the B bomb site. And keeping, I believe, D-Born there to take down the last guy was a super smart play.
Definitely not over-rotating when they have not seen the bomb yet, and wow, Miniker is doing extremely well in the early parts of this game so far, and here comes the CT push though. They're getting a little greedy here. Shroud just made a nice headshot right there, trying to get the last player, and he does. That's going to be a 3K for Shroud on the push. Miniker gets one, and D-Born gets one himself, but we're moving into the all-important first gun round here, which will really set the tone for the rest of the match, or normally does. Maybe not always if there's a big momentum shift, but we're about to get into it.
Right. I feel like this is the first game in a long time that we've had where there wasn't a round 2 buy. I feel like that seems to be the go-to strat. Get a bomb plant, go for the round 2 buy, but there wasn't a bomb plant, which actually kind of surprises me. In 3 rounds, they weren't able to sneak the bomb into anywhere, so honestly, it doesn't really set them back that far. They're still buying on round 3, which is, what they need to do, but I'm just surprised they weren't able to get any traction.
Look at the eco plays here from Manajuma. 2 of their players opting not to upgrade from their FAMASs and just trying to stack some money here. They're that comfortable with their shot with the FAMASs that they're not going to go for it, and there is nobody actually playing mid for Manajuma here, which, okay, here comes Miniker. He's going to work his way over there. Just kind of watching, and it looks like the T's are going to work their way into the vent and just go for a split here on B as one player's wrapping outside. Bomb drop, G-Born gets one, calls the bomb over there. Here comes the CT rotate, not really pushing in too hard, and wow, Miniker is playing nuts right now. Through the smoke, taking down JDM. Cutler watching the flank. Shroud was a little too quick for that. He knows somebody's going to be watching him in the vent now. Only 2 players left alive for the T side. Bomb has yet to be planted. FNS is trying to fake it here, trying to see if he can get a CT push. But Manajuma is not biting on it at all. They're just playing very slow here. And Miniker with the op right now. And they just prevented the bomb plant. Miniker with the 2K on the round. Jumas picks up their 4th.
I mean, that round, I guess they had a lot. They got a lot more traction than they had previously. So the firepower difference was very big for the first 3 rounds. But unfortunately, they couldn't get any traction to get a round win that round either. So far, Manajuma has not fallen for any of the fakes that netcode guys has thrown, and they haven't been overrun by the just the straight up brute force play. So I think the play for netcode guys at this point is just gonna have to be to work picks once they have guns. Maybe slow it down a little bit, kind of spread out around the map, see who they can catch off guard, and just see if they can get a little more traction. Maybe get a man advantage before they start taking a site or before throwing a fake or something like that.
Cutler, last one left, trying to work his way around after his teammates got tore up. And once again, Miniker using that op extremely effectively there. Gets a 2K, and that's 5 unanswered rounds for Manajuma. Netcode Guides is starting to struggle a little bit here, but this is the time they need to turn the boosters on and start winning some rounds.
Absolutely. They are also heavily invested in this round, but they are going to be accruing a lot of bonus money. So it'll be interesting to see if they win this round, if they opt to buy up again and just keep the pressure up, or if they're going to stay conservative and save when they need to, just for the surefire buys.
Man, do you like this Juma look right here, pushing 2 into the mid?
I want to see if they boost Irukanji and if he can get the frag. Oh, they're going to be boosting Desi. If they can get a frag off it, then definitely. A little too obvious. That they made a noise right before they boosted him, so JDM clued right into it.
Yeah, JDM was ready for that. I do believe he saw the top of his head, too, for confirmation that they were going out of the box. Just had to sit back and wait for it to pop up, and he did, and he got that. So finally, the first kill is going to go to Netcode Guides. So far, it's just been all the way of Manajuma and the Shroud. I like that peek right there, using that broken piece of board to actually slide up, or I guess that would be like drywall or something right there. But the execute is coming. Shroud is all over it though. Gets 2, finally goes down. Hayes takes him down, and there is Miniker, and he is shooting very, very well right now. Irakanji on the cleanup, and that's 2K for Shroud. Manajuma still has not lost a round.
Not only have they not lost a round, but they've only given up a grand total of, let's see, 2, 4, 5, 6 deaths. Grand total. That's not a lot of money for Netcode Guys. You know, as I said, they are accruing bonus money, so they are able to buy up, but they're not getting a lot of supplementary cash. I mean, JDM doesn't even have any head armor. They had some nades, but not full nades. They need to turn the tides, and I think saving one and doing a double buy after save might not be a bad idea. But if they can win this round, then they just need to keep buying up.
Let's see what's going to happen here with Miniker. They actually have taken control of mid. Irakanji actually is working an op now. So 2 op look here. We have Miniker and Irakanji both working ops, and they're both kind of holding on. It looks like the mid work is going to come from the terrorists, though, trying to work their way up and get to the catwalk and work a split here. And it looks like they're going to be up on catwalk going for the split, possibly waiting to see if Irakanji is going to peek out. Execute coming A, though. Irakanji does step out. Lucky finally gets him, but Shroud cleans up from the back of the bomb site before he gets traded out right there. Desi's in a bad spot, though. He's getting pushed from all angles. Can he get FNS? Not able to take FNS down, and they have earned their way into the bomb site now. Just got to get the bomb over there out from mid, and they pick up their round. That was JDM and Cutler at the end of that to get those kills. FNS with the 2K, and Netcode is on the board. Score is still 6-1 Manajuma.
That round, the main thing that Netcode Guides did right was that they were just fragging. They were hitting their shots. They were getting the kills. All the kills that they were basically supposed to get were kills that they did get. And, that seems like something that's, very, rudimentary or basic for Counter-Strike. But really, just being able to frag is very important. You can have the best strats in the world, but if you're getting outshot by the other team, it won't mean much.
Looks like your terrorist team is going to be working their way over towards B. First player to see them is going to be Irakanji. Actually, D-Born's right over there. Teams up with his teammate to get that kill. And then FNS is on the trade, takes down D-Born. And then now Miniker just seems like he's all over the map. Runs in there with his op. And Irakanji almost just smoked his own teammate right there. They're going to be boosting out. Right there in their face is going to be Desi, though. So Cutler gets the kill there. Shroud trying to spray through the wall to get some damage off. And we're in a slight stalemate here. Bomb is dropped out in the open. CTs can cover it. Irakanji on the peak, and only one player left. That is going to be your number 0 player, and that is going to be Cutler, who falls victim once again to Miniker. And the score is 7-1, and scoreboard for Miniker is looking very nice.
Yes, it is. 14-1 is a very impressive start. I mean, we've seen him fragging pretty much every round. There's been 8 rounds and he has 14 kills already. That's pretty solid. If I can get 1 kill a round, I'd be happy. And that round, that loss for Netcode Guys actually reset all their bonus money. So the players that had survived the 1 round they win will still have money in the bank, but their teammates not so much. I see 1,400 in Hades and 1,550 on JDM, and JDM actually opens the round with an eco pick. So I'll let you take over, but they need to string together some wins if they want to keep their economy intact.
Desi right there helping his teammates out, throws a fire. They're trying to get the bomb planted, and they do. Miniker is able to get 2, and he's just going to jump in there in the fire. And I wonder if he's going to die from that before he gets the defuse. Ah, he lives. All right. Defused by Jumas, but Netcode Guide still has their 1 round. They did get a bomb plant there. Money-wise, they are looking decent. and I would expect a buy, and here it comes.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, at this point, they are kind of falling behind very quickly. Their economy isn't really in great shape and hasn't really been in great shape for a little bit with that one round win and the subsequent loss. So honestly, winning one round is going to be nice. They're going to need to, obviously up their score to keep it competitive, but winning one round and then losing the next one is going to set them back even further. They need to start stringing together the round wins.
Jumas looks like they're going for that slightly aggressive look there in the mid. Once again, 2 players there. I really like what Jumas is doing here, switching up what they're doing almost every round in the mid. Sometimes playing 1 player there, sometimes 2 getting aggressive, sometimes 2 on the lurk, and sometimes none at all, and they're just stacking to one side of the map, but only 1 player in B. That is a lot of faith for your number 3 player of D-Born in B.
I guess they're banking on Netcode guys thinking that there's 2 players in the B site, and they are going to be rotating some players over towards B now as D-Born gets that information. But you're right, it is kind of gutsy just playing 1 player there. Man, JDM, great shot, outpicking Miniker. That site's pretty much theirs unless Irakanji has something to say about it.
Oh man, Shroud on the lurk over there at A. Heard the door open. Irakanji is on fire also. He's going to try and throw that flashbang and help his teammates out. Here comes the push. Upper is going to be smoked though. Desi needs to try and get out there to help his team. Shoots through the smoke as it disappears. Quickly gets flashbanged, and it's going to be a 2 versus 2. We have 2 from Jumas, 2 from Netcode left alive. I am stuck on nothing for some reason. And now we have Lucky going to plant the bomb in the site. So that's 2 bomb plants in a row, and he gets it. Shroud just jumps out, ill-advised, off the top, trying to get out of there. And now Lucky is kind of pinned in the corner over there on top of that fire, not taking any damage though, so he's able to get away, and he wins the 1 versus 1 battle against Desi, and that is 2 rounds for Netcode, so they are still alive and in this, but Manajuma has the 6-round lead.
That Shroud jump, as you said, did look pretty ill-advised, but it actually worked out pretty well for them. He was able to hop into the site and, unfortunately basically fell to his death, but he gave his teammate the information he needed to put together the clutch, trade off that frag, and, bring the round as close as possible. Winning, a 1-on-1 where you know where the guy is a lot easier than winning a 2-on-2 where you're only sure where one guy is.
Round 11 is underway now. Manajuma has taken a commanding lead here by 6 rounds. We are getting towards the end of the half, and Netcode definitely wants to pick up everything they can, and directly underneath Hayes right there is going to be a CT. That's Irakanji, who tried to wait as long as he could before he started shooting. Waited a little too long there as Hayes was up on top of him. So 2 players down for Jumas. Ooh, Shroud just takes a dink from the side, gets picked as FNF is moving his way out through A main. CTs have already rotated. Miniker misses a nice shot right there. Should have been able to take that down. Lucky was all over D-Born, and Cutler cleans up, and that is actually going to be a 2K for FNS. Kills spread out between his team evenly after that, and Netcode Guides picks up another round. Score is 8-3 Manajuma.
So there we go. There we have connected rounds. They've strung 2 rounds together, and they kept a lot of their players alive. They're all going to be bought up with all nades, all armor, and they're going to have a little bit of money in the bank, even if they do lose, this round incoming or the rounds following. So they have done some reconstructive work, and I think they've done some good reconstructive work. It's just a matter of keeping it up. If they can string a 3rd and 4th, obviously, that would help them out tremendously.
Yeah, if you're able to pick up these last couple of rounds here to help your team move into this, that would be a gigantic for them. And Juma's on the hard push outside A, and here comes the rotate from the rest of the players over there at A. They're going to try and get back to B as fast as they can, because by this point they know for sure there is nobody outside A and working it. And still on the lurk, though, is going to be Desi, and FNS gets one. He's trying to make the second one happen. D-Born gets it. Shroud is all over that before D-Born goes down, and here comes the rotate. Bomb is going to be inside the B site, and pushing up on top is going to be Desi, trying to grab 2, not able to get the second one, but he does make the call for where both of the terrorists are. And here comes the drop from your number 5 as Shroud. Shroud drops in there. Can he get JDM? JDM a little too fast for him, and now Desi is in a 1 versus 2. 1 in the site, 1 over there by Checkers. He knows the op is there, so he's going to try and take that op out first to get himself some breathing room, and he does. So now, time to go to work on the other player who's actually in Creeper, and that's going to be Lucky. He's got to reload his FAMAS. Lucky doesn't know it, and goes for the nade, and gets the kill at the end of that. So once again, down to a 1 versus 1 battle, and Netcodes ends up getting that, and I believe that was the second time it was Desi in a 1 versus 1 there, and Netcode came up with the win. So score is 8-4, and that 6-round lead is shrunk to 4.
Yeah, not only have they shrunk the lead down, but they've also now forced Manajuma into a situation where they have to save. And as I said before, Manajuma is known for their aggressive and creative T side, and I think we can clearly see that translating, into their CT side as well. As on multiple rounds, they've had their players push through their sites, and it's been important for gathering information. But on multiple occasions, we've also seen those very aggressive pushing players get picked without trades. So, I think those are aggressive plays that can pay off and will pay off sometimes. But I think they just need to be a little more careful about it. Maybe scale it back just a little bit or, only do it when they feel it's absolutely necessary.
And that kill right there from Shroud, did you see that as he jumped
Unfortunately,
up?
I did not.
Oh my goodness. Remember how I talked about him jumping up on that piece of drywall and just kind of floating
Yes.
there for a second? Just got a headshot with the P250 into A main because of that jump.
I wonder if that affects his accuracy. You got to imagine it does. I think that was kind of a lot of luck.
I believe
as
there
he
was
said
a ton there.
Yeah, that has to be a lot of luck. Unless, maybe you just know something you can kind of like stick on it and it gives you standing accuracy. I'm not really sure. I got to try that out. I want to hop into a server now and just kind of see what's up. But I'm pretty sure inclined surfaces like that will give you jumping accuracy. I think that was a lot of luck.
Yeah,
But hey,
that
sometimes
was
it's better to be
ridiculous.
lucky than good.
Very, very true. Luck is definitely helpful here. But Netcode takes another round, and if this continues the way it's going, Manajuma is going to end with 8, and Netcode will get this back to 7, which is about as close of a half as you can possibly have with only a 1-round advantage going to Manajuma. If it continues this way, Manajuma is back onto a bye, though, and JDM, his op, is now heating up, takes down Miniker, who has been so good at the initial part of this half. And definitely turning it on a little bit here. JDM making it the ability for his team to work over towards A. And looks like they're going to go for the A push here. Rotate coming from Manajuma, though. So they're getting ready to stack up over there. Kind of delaying this push a little bit. Trying to fall off from the counter flashes and nades. But here comes the full execute. Jumping into the site is going to be Lucky, trying to get a kill. Hayes is actually able to clean that up. Shroud in the back of the site, not only able to take down one, and we are into a 1 versus 3 now as JDM gets another kill. And pushing into the site is Irakanji, who gets one before he gets traded out by Cutler, and that is going to be 2K for JDM, a 2K for Cutler, and that is another round for Netcode. Last round of the half incoming. Do you see 8-7? Is it in the cards?
I think so. It seems like they can't really be stopped right now, and Manajuma's economy isn't exactly where they want it to be. Not only do they not have any scopes, which has been Miniker's 16-6 bread and butter all game, but they have 2 players with FAMASs and very little nades. So yeah, I definitely see Netco Guides making this first half comeback real.
Early pick, though, for Irakanji. Drops down out of the vent and gets absolutely mopped up there by a couple terrorists. That was going to be Hayes and Cutler on the cleanup. Lucky gets another one on the trade for Deborn. So it's going to be a 3 versus 3. Bomb is going to work its way into the B site. All of the... Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I can't even believe... He hit that through the smoke in the head? Like
you were calling for a JDM versus Miniker duel, before the game, and the off play has been super important out of both players. Oh, we're down to a 1-on-1. I'll shut my mouth.
We are into the 1v1 right now. Miniker's got to clutch it, and he's not able to. FNS cleans that up, and that is 8-7 half there after Manajuma took a 6-0 lead.
I was actually surprised that they were able to bring that round as close as they did. Here, I'm talking about Manajuma. Netco Guides had those pretty awesome opening picks and only lost, I think, 1 member getting into the site. So even there, Manajuma did a good job of, keeping the pressure up, even with a man disadvantage. Let's see if they can keep it up on their T side.
Now, Manajuma won the first pistol. Do you see them being able to take it again?
I'm really not sure. I think 5 rounds ago, maybe I would have said yes, but not anymore. Right now, Netco Guides has a ton of momentum on their side. They've been now shooting extremely well, and when it comes to pistol rounds where there's not a lot of nade play, I think the shooting is going to be very important.
Let's see how Manajuma is able to play here on their T side, playing very, very slow on this pistol, trying to see if they can get an aggressive play here from Netcode Guides. Netcode doesn't really seem like they're going to do that. They already have a slight stack over towards A, 1 on the very fast rotate, and then 1 towards mid, and here comes the rotate back over to B. I wonder if Cutler heard something to force that rotate back, or if they're just getting worried about not having 2 in the site.
I'm unsure. I think they're just trying to be careful, and they kind of got a little lucky with the rotate. And here we go. Here comes the take.
And it looks like Manajuma got the first kill out of that. That was Irakanji who takes it down. The rest of the teams are pushing into sight. Lucky up top trying to make a kill happen. Drops the bomb one more time. That was Irakanji who fell victim there to his P2000. And he is going to be fighting 1 versus 3 initially till his teammates get on the rotate. Bomb is going to get planted in the B bomb site. So there is the possibility of that second round buy incoming if Jumas is not able to hold on here. And I wonder if they're going to force that if they can't win this round. But it's 3 versus 3. JDM on the push. They're definitely just working a little slow here, waiting for FNS to come out. Here comes the peaks. Lucky's going to step out. Lucky gets one. Lucky trying to go for a second one. And Desi is on a roll right now. 2 headshots right there with his Glock. Only 1 at CT left. They're stalling a little bit, going for the gunfight. Desi cleans that one up at the end. 3K for him, and only 3 kills on CT side. They all went to Lucky.
Before the game, you said you were calling for Desi to go big this game, and so far I wouldn't exactly say he was going big, but that was about as clutch of a round as you could have. All the frags he had were super important there. Honestly, I was pretty confident Netco guys were just going to get in there and overrun Manajuma, but that's what that individual skill and shooting accuracy can do. You can absolutely change the tide of a game, even when you're just kind of holed up in a corner.
Desi finally turning it on like I asked him to do, and my prediction of 16-13 is looking a lot closer than initially seemed. When I called that 16-13, I did not expect Manajuma to go 6-0 so fast, but they're bringing it back and they're making it very close here.
Definitely. I thought momentum would play a huge factor in this game, and for the most part it has. I mean, I attribute momentum to a lot of Netcode's comeback. I think they were just kind of feeling good towards the end of the first half, and it showed in their play. Now that they've lost the pistol, and I think maybe that might wear on them again. If they can if they allow Manajuma to kind of tee off again like they did the first half, I mean, they'll be running out of time very quickly.
Let's see if the comeback is going to happen. Cutler does get a kill, though, so that's 1 down. That's Miniker down, who had such a great first start. And on the flank,
man,
Desi. Wow, that was a 3K, bringing him down to 1 HP, which brought this into a bomb plant over at the A bomb site. It is going to now be a 4 versus 1 here. Hayes, the last player left. Let's go over to his perspective, as he's just going to be, I'm assuming here, looking for those exit kills, trying to steal himself a gun and have their team be able to buy next round if he's able to get that rifle. Let's see if he can get this. But man, look at that. Manajuma is playing smart. They are only exiting T-spawn where Desi got all those kills.
Yeah, that is smart. I mean, that's Counter-Strike 101 there. They know where the last remaining CT is. They know which way they can exit safely. They want to hold on to all their rifles. I mean, yeah, Counter-Strike 101.
And that is going to be another round there for Manajuma. Score is 10-7. They're back to a 3-round lead against Netcode, and Netcode is not going to be able to buy this round. Got to save 1 more time, and it looks like we have pistol upgrades, possibly 1 P250, 1 CZ75, a 5.7 on Hazed again.
If you have the money, why not? They'll still be able to buy up next round, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And clearly they think the extra firepower is going to help them potentially pick up in eco. And this round, unlike last round, they're slightly less aggressive, especially in the B bomb site. The players that were B last round, pushed all the way through and eventually made it to T spawn before they were gunned down by Desi. And this round, they seem to be content just to kind of hang back, let the terrorists come to them and come up with a game plan at that point. Don't push through and try to force anything.
Let's see what's going to happen now. Round 18 underway. Here comes the push from Hazed, and Miniker was all over the top of that. Takes him down and gets the kill. So first pick is going to go to Manajuma, who does have the gun advantage this round. It's going to be 1 more round until Netcode buys. They might try and force as many rebuys as they can here, if not try and win this round, which ultimately is the goal there. Shroud taking down JDM, and there's still 2 more CTs inside the site, and Jumas is going to execute now. Only 1 left at the other site. Let's see if they can get some kills here, and that strafe out. Desi just absolutely terrorizes FNS's head, gets the kill there, and then 1 more. So now we have Cutler left by himself once again, rocking the P2000, trying to get some kills, not able to make that happen, and that is only going to be 1 rebuy forced, and that was on Irakanji. They did get the round win and the bomb plant, so money is not a problem for him currently. Manajuma 11, Netcode Guides 7.
If you take a look at the scoreboard really quickly for netcode guides, you'll see that their frag distribution on the team is pretty even. No player has lower than 9, and no player has higher than 11. So I think netcode guides kind of just needs an X factor if they're gonna beat Manajuma. They need one player to just go off in the same way that we're seeing, Miniker go off with the op, or Shroud go off with pretty much any gun he has in his hand. He doesn't really care. They're just going to need that extra oomph to beat a team as good as Manajuma. And now Shroud very aware of the boost that's happening, and Desi taking care of business.
Let's see what Netcode's Guides is able to do here in the push in the mid. This is going to be their buy round here, trying to force as many kills. They forced one trade right there. I don't believe it was a true trade, but Miniker goes down. Hazed also down for their team. So we're to 4 versus 4 here. Guns up once again. Netcode Guides trying to slow work a little bit now after they got a little aggressive in the mid, and Juma's rotating back over to B, and if they do this slightly quickly and go for it now, this could be an awesome push into B, and it looks like they're going to hold B. Their teammate needs to push his way in there so they can get that bomb plant, though.
Yeah, they're close. Desi can commit right now and get in the site. They're just a little concerned. They don't have all the information that they need, and honestly, I like that they're playing it slightly slower. There's no need to make an overly aggressive play. They now feel comfortable moving the bomb into the site, and they did it once they were comfortable. They're not trying to force anything. They're kind of playing at their own pace right now and forcing netcode to follow.
Shroud on the lurk over there. FNS just wrapped all the way around him and got past, and there's only one CT left remaining. Bomb planted in B. That is going to be Cutler. He's going to run away and save his rifle for another round. Manajuma is poised to take their 12th round right now. And Irakanji with a 2K for his team. Miniker down early. Let's take a peek at damage so far. Let's go over and look. Let's see Desi.
Wow,
how he
Shroud.
stepped it up so far.
Shroud in the first half was dealing crazy amounts of damage. I didn't even know the graph went that high.
That is pretty ridiculous, pretty fast.
Yeah, wow, and also he makes just such large jumps. He's just putting together multiple frag rounds every round, just putting out so much damage. And it's kind of hard to compete with that when you're netcode guides. And as I said, strategically they're keeping pace. I mean, they have their they have their own game plan. Clearly, they are working off each other well. They're just not shooting nearly as well as Manajuma is. The Manajuma, that's it. They're fraggers. They're raw fraggers. They want to get out there and shoot. And if you're in their way, you're gonna get shot.
Round 20 is underway. Manajuma is trying to get their way into B. On the save is going to be the rest of netcode guides. They have earned their way into B right now. Here comes the bomb plant. D-Born is going to put it down, and that is going to put them into a 4 versus 3, and Desi on the flank is going to be able to get one right there. That's FNS who falls victim to him, and the bomb goes down. And Manajuma's just locking down the bomb site right now. Only 2 players left alive. Hazed right there. Hazed in the smoke. Smoke's about to disappear. He's got to get some kills. He gets... Oh, I thought he was going to get that kill. Not able to do it. Shroud cleans up. D-Born with the finalizing kill. And that round goes to Manajuma. The score is 13-7, and it looks like the momentum has shifted back in favor of Manajuma once again.
Definitely. This is basically a repeat of what we saw in the first half. Manajuma winning the pistol round, using that to, kind of go off, tee off, as I said before, pick up a bunch of rounds, but that didn't discourage netcode guys in the first half. I don't think they're done yet. This is another gun round out of them, another opportunity for them to bring it back, but at this point in the game, they're running out of time. They don't really have any more... They've ran out of lifelines. I don't know. This is it. If they lose this round, they're basically setting themselves up to scramble and force a bye just to, hope for a tie. This is a very, very important round, and I think it's going to decide the game.
Round 21 underway here. Manajuma trying to close this out early and get their way over to Nuke and move on. NetcodeGuides.com is doing everything they can to try and prevent that. And already, I believe, who is that is so low? JDM so very low. Still makes a nice shot right there, taking down D-Born as he's trying to push up by the forklift. Dropping into the smoke is going to be 2 of the terrorists. Lucky grabs both of them, Irakanji and Shroud. And now it's a 2 versus 3. JDM very low on the round, and the bomb is going to be planted in A. Does Netcode Guides have what it takes to do the retake with the 1-man advantage?
Well, I think off that pick, they definitely do. It really what it came down to is Desi having to get either a pick on that Heaven guy or the guy that was below, but unfortunately the smoke was, keeping him out. Miniker actually hits a nice off shot, but unfortunately, he has to give up the plant because of it. I think that's the smart play. That was a tough one for him to stop. The bomb was in a place where he couldn't really defend it. He'll take his 2 kills, he'll keep his gun, and he'll kind of walk away. And I think that was, as I said before, a super important round for Netcode Guides. They're still alive. They need to keep it up. I think if they lose this round and reset their economy, lose all that bonus money, they're definitely going to be in a world of hurt. They're playing for their lives at this point. Got to win to stay alive.
Are. And actually, Miniker was able to save that off. His team buys up around him once again. At that point, is that a good play in your book? You're saving, you're 1 versus 3. The bomb is not planted for you. It's planted in a very hard spot to get to. They're almost 100% positive where you are in A main. You should know that by now. You have that op. You just do what he did and save that and get 2 kills at the end of that nonetheless, forcing 2 rebuys. I definitely agree with that play.
Yeah, if that's what a smart player would do, I would probably peek and die. But, that's what these guys have to offer. It's incredible patience with their play, and they stand by their shooting ability.
And we actually just saw a good question poised in the Twitch chat. Someone asked Hiko, what team does he want to play next? One of these teams will go on to play his team in the lower bracket finals, so I'm curious to see what his answer is. Execute coming, though, and Netcode Guides looks like they're trying to turn this around right now. Oh, man, back down to a 2 versus 1, was a 2 versus 2, and Shroud is absolutely nutty, gets the 3K, and wow, he is shooting so very well right now.
I mean, that's really the #1 thing that Shroud brings to the table, and he does it so well all the time. I feel like I never see Shroud slumping. And to get back to your question, or the chat's question, really, of who Hiko wants to play, you got to assume it's Netcode Guides. They already beat Netcode Guides, so you got to imagine that they want to replay them. I'd be a little scared if I was Complexity going up against Manajuma. And, if the 3 games that Netcode Guides and Complexity have were indicative of anything, it's that, honestly, I'd be scared to play Netcode Guides too if I were them. But I know they're up for the challenge, and I know they're going to prepare for either team.
Oh, Hiko. Oh, look at this by Hayes. Oh, can he pull it down? He does. He makes the shot up. He's got to get over there and get that gun. If Lucky can get this kill on the flank, they are in good shape. We're going to see a 1 versus 1 here. We have Desi versus Hazed. Hazed already has a 2K. Lucky, who is dead, has a 2K. Kills are spread evenly on the other side of the scoreboard, though. We're going to take this from Desi's perspective, and he might get peeked here from upper.
Definitely. He thinks that Hazed is in sight, and if Hayes can keep quiet and not get too greedy, he might be able to turn it into a kill on Desi. Man, he's right above him.
I am on Desi's perspective this entire time, watching the terrorists try and clutch this, and if he makes this jump right here, I'm pretty sure he's going to get spotted. He doesn't even go for the jump, and Hayes makes the peek and takes it down. The score is 14-9. Netcode Guides is alive and in this, but they have a long way to go here. Manajuma has a lot of money saved up. Irakanji may not, but the rest of his team definitely, Desi and Shroud both boasting over 9,000 in their pockets.
Yeah, it's not going to be a problem for Manajuma to, drop their teammates unless they just continue to mess up these rounds. I mean, if they win one more round, they're basically going to just be buying up. There's no reason really not to. 15 rounds is a huge sigh of relief, and in my mind, winning your 15th round is arguably more difficult than winning the 16th. There's a lot of pressure to get that tie round.
Juma's trying to do everything they can here to lock up that 15th round and force it into at least an overtime if Netcodes is able to do that. Bring it to 15 rounds themselves, but they definitely want to grab that 15 and get the win. And Irakanji baiting off that door right now, making a lot of noise, trying to pull the attention away from the CTs who are there. And it does draw one CT all the way over from the back of mid CT spawn area, and he pulls himself over into A. So now Juma's just playing very, very slow here, and I like what they're doing. They have all the time in the world and the round advantage. No reason not to play slow here.
Yeah, absolutely. They're looking for Netcode Guides to make a mistake. If Netcode Guides gets a little aggressive, which it seems like they aren't, and gave up a frag, that would be a huge advantage for Manajuma. So very smart of Netcode Guides knowing what they need to do to win, and what they need to do is stay alive.
Oh, nice shot there from Deborn before he gets traded out. Looks like the bomb is going to commit its way over into B, and the CTs are aware of this. Let's see, FNS is going to be on the flank there. Irakanji trying to rotate over from A. Hard flank incoming from your number 4 terrorist of Desi. If Desi is able to get there quick enough and get these shots off, getting a little bit off, but the op is all over him. JDM misses his first shot, goes for the second, takes that down. It's going to be a 2 versus 3 here. CT is very low on the round. 1 goes down. Irakanji is able to clean that kill up. Bomb has not been planted yet. They're playing safe. And now Lucky is very low also. Lucky and Haste extremely low. Lucky's going to go for the long road. Nope, he's going to fake that and go back. Actually, not really a fake. He's running the entire way. But Jumas has the advantage as the bomb is going to be planted in B. Now it's a 1 versus 2. And we have... Oh, wow. That was Miniker who had to clean that up. Hazed shuts it down, though, with a big 3K for his team. Only 1 HP left. And that is going to be another round for Netcode Guides, making it that much closer. Score is 14-10.
I really thought Manajuma was going to be able to lock up that round. I mean, what it came down to was Netcode Guides having a grand total of 15 HP between the 2 players. I thought, you know, Irakanji would be able to very quickly clean them both up, but he got a little aggressive with his CT peak. I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with that, but he was scared that he was getting flanked. Obviously, from our perspective, we knew he wasn't, and that's what kind of pushed his hand to peak CT. But, you know, there's an alternate universe where Manajuma won that round right there.
Where they got the clutch off and made it happen. Lucky on the push right there meets Shroud, who rips his face off with an AK headshot and kills that. Oh, Irakanji in the mid push right there, trying to go for 2. Only gets 1. FNS on the trade, and Desi knows exactly where they are, and they're going to drop back and rotate long way around to A, which is pretty slick here, because most of the time if somebody drops out of mid, you're like, all right, they're going to go back to B. They are not going to commit to A after they were just in mid. And the lurk out in mid is actually going to be Miniker, who's actually crossing through mid right now. This is going to put them in a big power play situation right now as they have the numbers advantage. FNS is calling for the rotate. He gets Deborn. Good position to get Desi. Grabs Desi, steps out, tries to take Shroud down. Not able to do it. And JDM on the cleanup crew. So now we have Shroud left alive by himself in a battle here, trying to lock up that 15th round still. JDM had an angle right there, not able to make it. Oh, Shroud with a beautiful headshot. 1 versus 1. We're going to take this from Shroud's perspective here as Cutler is trying to push his way into the side. Who gets the shot up? And man. Shroud. Wow, that is a 4K, I do believe, all AK headshots.
Yeah, that was the most Shroud play that Shroud could possibly have made to win that 1v2. I mean, he didn't even fake plant the bomb, but I guess the netcode player that was on Highway just thought that he would. He thought, yeah, there's no way this guy has the guts to re-peek me. But, you know, when Shroud is that guy, you know he's going to have the guts to peek you in. I mean, come on. Did you see that? I mean, come on.
What?
I mean, when he's putting together kills like that, can any team beat him? Can I don't know. You know, obviously we're gonna see. We saw that iBuyPower could, and we will, you know, probably see that Complexity could. But man, Shroud does what Shroud does.
The Shroud does what the Shroud wants, and he is doing it right now all over Netcode. They brought the game back very close here, but they're trying to fight for the tie here on a light buy. They didn't have cash. They had to buy whatever they can, and they have to do that every single round from here on out and win every round from here on out to ensure that they force an overtime where they have a chance at winning this. And I like this Jumas play right here. Look at this there, pulling almost all the CTs over there, all except for one who's still going to be waiting over there at B. But the bomb, another player, they're just trying to figure out whether or not they're going to rotate through mid. And here comes the drop back from the rest of the T's. And the chase. Actually, the chase is on right now. JDM is going to be pushing right here. He's going to meet Shroud. Oh, and cleans him up with the CZ75 auto. So now there's no real player advantage. Definitely not now as Juma picks up an AK. Excuse me. JDM picks up an AK and gets the kill on Desi. 3 versus 4 situation here. Jumas is down a player, and it looks like Netcode might eco.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see. I mean, they still have enough players up and enough firepower to put it together. It's going to come down to picks, and Miniker getting that pick right there, evening up the player count, is a good first step.
Now they're faced with only pistols, except for Hayes, who has the FAMAS. And it's Minotaur. Oh, that flank from Irakanji is going to shut that down. They're going to push the site. Only Cutler left in the site. Lucky gets one. Lucky's going to drop out. Irakanji not on the hunt right there. Doesn't go for the kill. They're just going to get the bomb plant, and they're going to play safe here. They do not want to get shut down by that 5-7 from Lucky, who eats a grenade down to 17 HP now. This is a really hard round to win, and he's not able to do that as D-Born ends up cleaning up the final kill right there. And if you take a peek at the scoreboard, 29 kills, 15 deaths for Shroud. Minotaur 25 and 16. They really turned it on.